What's going on, everybody? It's McFly here. Today, we're going to be watching episode 2 of She-Hulk. Before we get into it, I want to take a little bit here to kind of talk about things I've seen floating around the internet after episode 1. I know there's a lot of people who already have been basically shutting out the MCU and Disney Plus and all of that stuff for multiple reasons, but for lack of a better term, for being too woke. I watched a few videos on people talking about this. I'm kind of in the camp where I notice it, I say, okay, I see what they're doing, and I get past it, and I judge a show by its overall writing, the acting chops of the actors. If it's entertaining, I don't take into account those type of cultural or political things into my view of the shows. So I do think people don't like that and they don't want to watch these shows. That is their prerogative, and I think if you want to follow those morals moving forward, you definitely should. I don't think people should, just because I feel a certain way about something doesn't mean that somebody else should follow that. I'm not going to push my beliefs on anybody else. I do know that there was the particular scene in the first episode, and I'm going to show it right now.
Well, here's the thing, Bruce. I'm great at controlling my anger. I do it all the time. When I'm catcalled in the street, when incompetent men explain my own area of expertise to me, I do it pretty much every day, because if I don't, I will get called emotional or difficult, or might just literally get murdered. So I'm an expert at controlling my anger because I do it infinitely more than you. So all of this just feels like projecting a lot of shit onto me.
I do know with that scene, a lot of people are upset about that in particular because of how it takes shots at men. I do think it was a little bit tone deaf, just to play down all of the problems that men go through. And I want to say that I'm not disagreeing with the things that she said that she or any woman has to go through on a daily basis, right? That's all most likely true, and I'm not putting that down at all. But to say that those outweigh any issues that men go through, I think is a little bit tone deaf. But even putting that aside, the whole government was trying to kill Bruce Banner. You know, he's gone through so many things because of the Hulk identity. Just from the MCU standpoint, she obviously was very emotional in that moment, and I think that is something to think about. I'm hoping that she's gonna have character growth, but what I'm trying to say is that I think that whole thing was very tone deaf. Just alone for her to say that she has infinitely more issues than Bruce Banner has is tone deaf right from the start. Now, if the MCU ever follows the Bruce Banner Hulk character arc from the comics, who has, just like Moon Knight, DID, then it's even worse. I just want to say that I do think that there are definitely woke elements to a lot of the things that are coming out now, but if you look back at all of the early MCU stuff, there's definitely woke elements to everything. I think we're just more highly aware of it now, and I think people are just getting angry at it being, constantly pushed in their face, or that's how they see it at least. My opinion on that, I'm not going to get into it. I think it's not as big of a deal if people are making it like, sure, that might be part of it, the show, and I see it, I say, okay, I see that part, I move on, and I worry about the rest of the show. I had no problem with it in the first episode. I thought the first episode was funny. I thought the CGI looked fine. It was spotty in the little parts of it, and I think really the worst part of that episode, honestly, was that flying kick. That was probably the worst, most campiest part, but I think the show overall so far has been good. Now let's see where episode 2 takes us, because I'm very curious to see if she is going to have character growth, if she is still going to be this kind of almost narcissistic, cocky person that she is. She could still stay like that, but I want to see if she's going to grow. So that's definitely what I'm looking for in this episode. And I think that having this discussion beforehand, after the immense attention that the first episode is getting, I think is important. Without further ado, let's get back to the happy stuff. Let's get into episode 2 right now. People have been saying they see Moon Knight in this. I haven't been paying a lot of attention. I want to see if I can see Moon Knight. Honestly, probably my favorite MCU show to date. I saw Captain Marvel, Shang-Chi. I still didn't see Moon Knight. You got to put my boy in there.
Sketches show a stunning scene from the Metropolitan Courthouse today where superpowered influencer Titania caused panic while fleeing traffic court.
Page, and she's been identified as Deputy District Attorney Jennifer Walters.
This chick, pretty decent, turned into a Hulk, like a chick Hulk. A She-Hulk? Exactly.
That's how she gets the name.
That's for somebody called She-Hulk, which can't possibly be what they're calling me.
Lady Hulk, Girl Hulk, She-Hulk. Come on, just give them what they want.
That's the name. You gotta go with it.
That name better not stick. It's so dumb.
It's going to.
It can't even exist without being a derivative of the Hulk.
That's a pretty dumb name, too.
True.
So, seriously, how did you get these powers?
I really don't feel like talking about it.
There's a hot chick over there. I'm gonna go talk to it.
Oh my god. Dennis is like the token asshole dude.
Become a vigilante that is for billionaires and narcissists and adult orphans for some reason.
But you could be an Avenger.
She
doesn't wanna be.
Could you go back to Jen? Jen, this is a serious conversation.
Oh, sure.
I mean, that's who she is, but okay.
Well, what was I supposed to do? Like, let them get hit in the face with a desk and then they have blunt force trauma and they're all bleeding out all over the courtroom floor? And...
No, you did the right thing. It unraveled our case. I'm sorry, Jen.
Just
Sorry, too, boss.
No, Jen, I'm
She's
sorry.
gonna be fired.
I have to
Yep.
let you go.
Wait, you're firing
Yep.
me?
exactly what she was worried about, losing her job because she's a Hulk. It's okay, you'll get something better. Don't worry. I mean, at least he was nice about it, right? He wasn't an asshole. Not all men are assholes, guys.
We just can't take the risk of a sideshow.
Sucks. I mean, she gotta take what she can get, right?
Jen.
What?
Jen, what are you doing? Eye on the prize. Come on, seriously.
Offbeat jobs for a fresh start. Let me guess, Bruce is gonna be there. Probably not.
Mom, Dad, I'm here.
I want to know what her parents think about her being a Hulk.
I already told everyone, so it won't be awkward.
Great, thanks, Dad.
Hi, Jen.
You got fired.
Chad,
Dad.
feels like complete. That Hawkeye guy, what happens to those arrows of his? I mean, does he go around and...
Literally nobody has called her.
Nobody calls me.
This is your life now, Jen. You gotta get used to it.
You know, like I thought I could keep this at bay for I don't know how long.
Once it went public,
It's like, hey,
not gonna happen.
But I wasn't gonna just let those people get hurt.
No.
What kind of person would that make me? And now I feel like I'm being punished for doing the right thing.
And
Like,
that's
I get fired for
why
saving people,
you are a
and now I can't
superhero.
even-
And you didn't destroy a city.
True.
It does feel like a weight has been lifted. But there's like this new weight.
The thing that you were dreading happened, but look, you're still standing.
It could be much worse, Jen. You gotta realize that. Look at Bruce. What happened to Bruce?
Can I help you?
I'd like to
Always
offer
take
you
a free drink.
job.
Is this a joke?
I'll never joke. Miss Walters, you laid out a winning case against us. Before I had it declared a mistrial, of course. I would like you to come work for us.
You got me fired, now you want to hire me.
To be
That's why he did it.
division, yes.
We'll only do it if I can hire my own paralegal.
Well, that was easy. Her friend's gonna be the paralegal, right? Better. She's a good friend. You gotta pay it forward. Good job. Literally says pool on the other side.
That means I'll expect you to be at work and in court as the She-Hulk.
Not what you signed up for, huh?
Right now.
She didn't dress for it.
Our division dedicated to superhuman...
How did her suit not like
Is this why they hired
rip?
me?
Ah, here we are. Your office.
I mean, look at that office.
The only reason they hired me is because they wanted a Hulk lawyer in the superhuman law division.
Yes, but look at everything it's getting us. Are you kidding? Big ass windows.
She's such a good friend, Jen. Come on. She's right, too.
Normal, but
Got some office supplies to get you started, snacks, and a map to the best bathroom for pooping.
Thank you.
I mean, I need that for everywhere I go. With this stomach, it's a serious issue, guys.
First case is the parole of Emil Blonsky.
Nice.
I would much prefer to be assigned literally any other case at this firm.
If you don't take the case, then you don't have a job here. At the very
Damn,
least,
forcing the issue. Look at that prison.
No superpowers inside.
No superpowers inside, huh?
You gonna serve me up with some fava beans and a nice Chianti?
Ma'am, this is a prison.
Ma'am, this is a Wendy's. What up, bro?
Oh, hi, Mark.
I've completely transformed myself. You know,
I don't believe it.
physically.
You're gonna have to prove it, sir.
With 7 soul mates that I met through the prison pen pal program that I want to start a new life with.
7.
Let's talk about the elephant in the room, shall we? Your cousin, the Hulk.
Yeah, let's talk about
My
that.
cousin Bruce.
Semantics, he was of the Hulk. You know, and I tried to kill him. I was under direct orders from your government.
But then you went.
True.
Yeah, because they pumped me full of that super soldier serum.
The serum the government gave you caused your subsequent actions?
You know, I was sent on a mission to take out a threat. And I thought I was the good guy. I thought I was going to be Captain Bloody America. Now that very threat, your cousin is held up
actually
as
a
some kind of
hero. Yep.
And I'm locked up in here. Where's the justice in that, Jen? Various haikus that I've written.
Oh boy.
To each of my victims, expressing the sorrow.
Do prisons have a pen pal program? Is that a real thing? I mean, it's kind of a cool thing to have, but just weird to me. Hey, Bruce.
Hey, Jen, what's up?
Part of the deal is I have to take on Emil Blonsky as a client. I couldn't do that without talking to you first.
Okay,
I
so
mean, it doesn't seem
That's-
like you hold a grudge. At least you've never talked about that before.
That's,
and you're always saying that, everybody deserves a second chance.
Let him speak.
And I'm something that we should strive for as a society.
Let Bruce
But none of that
talk.
matters if you don't feel
Jesus
comfortable
Christ.
with it.
I think you're calling me to tell me you're taking the job.
I'm calling you to tell you I'm taking the job. Yes.
Actually, Blonsky wrote me a really nice letter a while back. And a really heartfelt haiku, so we put everything behind us. That fight was so many years ago, I'm a completely different person now. Literally. What'd they end up naming you anyway?
She-Hulk? Don't even.
No, I love that. That's got a nice ring to it. Got this. Just be careful, okay?
Yeah, I'll be careful.
He's gonna be her sounding board the rest of the season?
Yeah, probably not for a minute. I got some things I gotta take care of.
Oh shit, where's he at?
Okay. Phone call over, I guess.
Where's he going?
Mr. Holloway, I'd like to accept your offer.
That's good to hear, Miss Walters. So this means you're taking Blonsky's case?
Absolutely. All personal complications have been resolved, and I guarantee you are getting my best work. I've already got a winning strategy, and it is 100% in the bag.
Glad to hear it. You might want to take a look at the news right now.
Yes.
Have a good evening, Miss Walters.
Have a good evening,
What
sir.
curveball are they serving her up right now?
After shocking footage leaked showing the Abomination participating in what appears to be an underground fight club after having somehow escaped from prison.
Oh. That sucks.
Yeah, it does. All right. So I know there's an end credit scene, I think, in every episode, so we're gonna get to that. This one was very much like storytelling, a lot more laid back. Not a lot of action per se. Much different feel than the first one, I feel like. And I feel like all of these MCU shows have kind of had the same, at least the last few, kind of had the same ebb and flow, right? I mean, if you look at Miss Marvel, the first episode was really good, I feel like, or for what the show was, it was really good. And then it kind of died down for episode 2, 3, 4, kind of ramped back up, and then went back down until the last episode. So I'm assuming that this is probably going to do the same thing. GLK and H is in the comics. I know that. This episode was fine. I think I enjoyed the first one a little bit better. I mean, the whole fight with Hulk and She-Hulk was cool. This one was just, like I said, a little bit of storytelling to move on to the next part of the story. But it was fine. I don't think there was anything really negative to say about it. I think the whole Bruce helping her is not going to be happening anymore, considering he's in space. And I'm wondering if that's going to lead to like World War Hulk. I don't know where he's going or what's happening with that, but I'm assuming we're going to see probably the end credit scene to this show will be what's going on. Okay, here's the end credit scene.
I don't know what 4K is. This thing, nobody does, but you still need it. Dude, I don't know what I'm doing down here.
Just keep turning.
I've turned it left, I've turned it right. Look,
Counterclockwise.
it just turns the wheel, dude. I don't know what doing.
Drop it down.
Okay,
Drop it down.
okay.
Good.
Using her to do everything.
Touch these wires again.
No,
I could have done that.
There you go. Yeah, watch out for the lamb. Yeah, good. Good. Come on up. There you go.
I'm glad you're staying hydrated, Dad, but this seems a little excessive.
Oh, yes, I got that. Do that. Yep, okay.
The flow of everything in these shows is since WandaVision, actually kind of since, I'd say probably since Loki, I feel has been a little bit off from episode to episode. And I think that the MCU is trying to fit a lot of the beginning of the MCU, right? We had three Iron Man movies, we had 3 Thor movies, we had 3 Captain America movies to kind of build the story and build those characters up in each movie. Here they're trying to do it in a 6 to 9 episode show. Essentially, right? It's about the same length. 2 to 3 hour movies, about 9 hours. That's about what you're gonna get with a six episode show, give or take. It's essentially the same amount of time, but the flows are different for a show, right? You don't have 2.5 hours to have a beginning, middle, and end. You pretty much have to do all of that in chunks. So it's very different, and I think honestly that the MCU hasn't really gotten a grasp of that yet on how to make the show flow in the right way. So I'm not really judging this show on that because I feel like that's something that all of the shows have suffered from. I think, look, this show's fine. It's a fun, 30-minute escape from reality. It's cool to see a new female character come in. I really, really wish that they would dive more into the Hulk and Bruce Banner's backstory a little bit more. And I'm hoping that will come to play maybe at the end of the season. But I do like Jen Walters. I think that she's a lovable character. I do think she has some character issues and flaws that we talked about at the beginning of this video, but she's going to be humbled a lot by other things that she's taking on and seeing what some of these other powered beings have to go through because they're powered, and it's going to humble her a little bit. And hopefully she'll sympathize with Bruce a little bit more instead of taking on the approach that she's better than him. I don't have a problem with that because it's woke. I have a problem with that because it's not taking into account his experiences in life, what he went through. That's kind of a big thing for me that I'm missing from this show right now, is her empathy towards all of the other supers, right? I think what we're getting with this show, in summation, is episodic storytelling of the She-Hulk and how that's going to play into the rest of the phases moving forward. And I actually think she and Daredevil are going to be the front runners for support superpowered people legally. And if and when the Avengers come back together, I'm pretty sure that them two will be part of that and making sure that they do the right thing, and so that what happened with Civil War doesn't happen again. So I think this is all important to the overall story. I want there to be substance for this show, and I really want the MCU to stop banking on that part of these stories, making them only important because of the overall impact it has on the MCU. You can have that be possible while still having an impact on each show, right? The cool thing that I loved about Moon Knight was how, first of all, it was very different, very dark. It was very emotional. They did justice by dissociative identity disorder, which is something that hasn't been done yet, but I think it was very different. It had very emotional, it was very real, but it also was contained, right? It had nothing to do really with the overall MCU. It was kind of its own separate thing. That was refreshing because everything the MCU has done recently really has been, how does it affect the overall story of the MCU and the overall arc of the MCU? I want them to start bridging that gap. I want everything to be contained and be impactful in its own space, but it also can then impact the rest of the MCU. I want to see them do that correctly, and I've yet to really see that, unfortunately. That's what I'm looking for. Overall, I think the show is fine. It's very entertaining. It's very funny. I think Jen Walters is funny. I do like her attitude. I do like her confidence, and I do like that she is kind of a no-nonsense, to-the-point person. I think this job that she got is going to humble her, and it's going to create a character arc that I want to see, but we will see. I do like that they, besides Dennis, which honestly I really hate that trope of character, but other than him, there was not a lot of that woke element that people don't like. Again, I don't care about that, so I don't think this is going to get a lot of heat like the first episode did. I think overall this episode was just not as good as the first one, but again, there's ebbs and flows in these shows, and I want to rate this show overall because that's how you should do it. I usually give a show 3 episodes to get into it and see what I think. So I like it. It's good. I think I was gonna give the first episode a 7 out of 10. I'll give this one a 6 out of 10 just because it was very slow. There was story building, but not very much going on. I will say my favorite character besides Jen is her friend for sure. Everybody needs a friend like that who supports them no matter what, and I think that's important. I'm excited to see what's gonna happen with this whole Blonsky and Abomination thing, and I'm wondering if it's gonna lead to the Thunderbolts. I think that prison is supposed to look like the one that was in the Thunderbolts comic, so we'll see about that. Again, there's a lot of overarching stuff that's interesting, but I'm excited to see where her character goes from here. I'm big on character building. I want to see that. If you guys like this video and like my content, make sure you like and subscribe and hit that notification bell. I'm excited to see more of these episodes, and let me know what you think in the comments. Did you like what you saw? Did you not like what you see? How are you liking the show so far? And also discuss what you think about the MCU being woke and all of that. I don't mind people, you know, respectfully disagreeing with me. I don't mind having a conversation about it. But just know I got that banhammer ready to go for people who want to, you know, attack others and attack me. So let's discuss it. I appreciate everybody. Thank you so much. And remember that good vibes are contagious.